Parents of Reddit, what is the best weird flex but okay moment you've seen from your child? My son started second grade this week. A couple of weeks ago the school sent out postcards with the date and time of the open house and his teacher's name. I asked him if he was excited to be in Mrs. So-and-so's class, and he said yes, but he's also worried. I asked what he was worried about and he said what if she falls in love with me and wants to marry me? I laughed and reassured him that he need not worry, since she's already married. When my son was about 5 we went to visit relatives in the Washington, D.C. area. We were on the metro when my son eyed a very pretty professional young woman. "I've got a lot of blocks," he told her. "If you come to my room I'll show you." Then he made motorcycle noises for about 10 seconds. When I was an after-school tutor for primary school kids, I excused a boy to the bathroom. He came back telling me he made the biggest poo in the world. He intentionally didn't flush so that I could come look at it. I told him that was great, but it was art time. He said his big poo was art. What's the biggest mistake you've watched someone make in their personal life? One of my best friends walked out on his wife and 2 kids because a girl at the gym and him were having a relationship. As it actually turned out, she was just being friendly and chatting to him. No relationship, no mutual decision to be together, nothing. He misunderstood polite friendliness for flirting, and destroyed his own family for it. My sister owned a home with her husband and first child. Her father-in-law convinced them that if they sold their house and became live-in caretakers for some old relative of his that he would leave his supposedly nice house in Austin to them. They'd get to live rent-free at this house, it would be theirs outright when he dies, and they'd be set. So they sell their house, move to Austin where they don't have jobs and move in with this guy. And it's absolute chaos. Guy is constantly watching porn on the living room TV with their toddler around, doing old guy stuff, telling them what they can and cannot do in the house and when they can come and go. It's a freaking nightmare. They end up leaving the house, and getting their own place. They also eventually moved to another state for a few years and came back. They've never been able to buy another house since housing prices have gone way up and they didn't have enough equity on their other house that they sold. So they've been bouncing from shitty apartment to shitty apartment ever since. I was brought up by family vloggers and it ruined my life. I female 17 was brought up by parents who family vlogged. They started vlogging when I was around 7 and stopped 3 years ago. I want to hugely avoid speculation as to who my family is so won't be sharing much more detail. The channel had over 500k subscribers. My parents finally stopped when there was a mental health crisis in my family as a result of the channel. This was never shared online. If you are a family vlogger, or are considering it, please read this and consider my perspective. I've wanted to share for a while but didn't know how to. I loved it for a while. I loved being center of attention while the camera was on and I loved getting more toys. I stopped loving it when I realized the only time I got attention was when the camera was on, and the only time I got toys was when I performed in a way I was meant to. I'm going to list some stuff that happened and how it affected us. My siblings and I were so paranoid there was cameras on us that the only place we felt comfortable changing was in the bathroom with the lights off. I couldn't talk to my mom about anything when my mental health began to get bad because I was too scared she'd share it online. If I'd asked her not to it wouldn't have made a difference. I now barely have a relationship with my mom. My mom considered homeschooling us so that she'd have more time to make content during the day. My best friend's mom said she didn't want my friend to my friend anymore because my mom kept filming her without permission. My mom didn't care how upset I was. I didn't have a single private moment. My mom woke me up with the camera on, and she often filmed right until we went to sleep. She filmed us in the bath and although she's tried to get it off the internet, it's downloaded and online forever. She shared when I got my period even though I told her I didn't want her to. Someone attempted to kidnap my sister and found it easy because they read it. What's the scariest theory known to mankind? Although not particularly scary, still pretty terrifying when you think about it. The Big Bounce theory. What it states is that if the Big Bang occurred from nothing, then there will be no changing factor to make a difference in what is created when it happens. This means that when our universe ends and another is created, it will be created in the exact same way, with the exact same galaxies, planets, species and so on. If this is true, our entire universe is in an endless cycle of creating and destroying itself, and you will be born into every universe, endlessly. Guys, what is the immediate turn-off when it comes to girls? Her husband. Lip filler. You're not fooling anyone with your airbag lips, knock it off. That long gel nails, creeps me out. The whole bad bitch thing. If anyone talks about that in a serious manner I just assume they are a train wreck of a human being. Rude to service staff. Obsession with social media, taking a picture of everything they eat and do. You'll hear take my picture enough to make you puke. Smoking. Me, a girl reading these just to do them all tomorrow to make guys stop staring at me. You are in hell but if you beat the devil in a game of your choice he will let you out. What game would you pick? Chugging holy water. Coin toss. My lack of confidence in the games I'm actually good at leaves me only chance as my option, and nothing is more reliable in this scenario than 50-50 odds. Never have I ever. There is no way that I have done more things than the devil. I challenge him to a Bob Ross painting contest and beat the devil out of it. The game to seduce me into a relationship. If the devil loses, get out of hell card. If the devil wins, at least my time in hell will be more entertaining. I've heard a game of hangman using the word jazz as a good bet.